gorillas, when they eat their food, they eat it, and then they have a really bad digestive system, and they eat a lot of shit that you can't really digest, so they just keep throwing it up and eating it over and over again until it's eventually digested. You should check that out.
I could get on that.
I think it could do wonders. I think it might actually be the next diet thing. The next big diet thing. It helps with bloating, I hear.
What, the what?
The gorillas.
The gorillas?
Yeah, when they like throw up their food and then eat it and then throw it up and then eat it.
Do gorillas do that?
Yeah, because they're really bad at digesting things and they eat a lot of shit that isn't very digestible.
Oh, interesting. What do they eat?
I don't fucking know, dude. Vomit. Their own vomit. Poop. That too, probably. I don't know. Whatever the zookeepers put in their cage. And then whatever's in the real world.
Forrest, how do you want to intro today?
Oh, she's gonna do it.
Alright. We don't got all day.
We're rolling, by the way.
What? Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to another episode of the Obligatory Podcast. Today, we have a very, very exciting episode going on.
Very exciting episode.
But before any of that gets started, we have someone new.
We have someone original. Someone you've never seen before.
Not even once. Why don't you tell them?
Yeah.
Who are you?
Please tell the audience who you are.
Yeah.
I'm Elizabeth.
Okay.
Hi,
You're
Elizabeth.
Hi, Elizabeth. I'm Forrest.
I'm George. And this is the Obligatory Podcast.
So this is the Obligatory Podcast.
I'm aware.
Okay.
So like, what is your deal?
Yeah, so what is up?
What is up with you?
Like, yeah.
What is going on?
I think people would describe me as someone who's pretty chill, laid back.
Okay, chill and laid back. Those are good things to be.
Those are really good things to be. I'm not chilling laid back.
No.
Doesn't give two F's about no one.
It doesn't give two. That's frankly very badass.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What do you What do you like to do? What do you?
You watch TV?
I watch TV. I sit in bed and.
What kind of TV you like? Sitcoms or what? Like personally, like I watch a lot of sitcoms.
I also watch a lot of sitcoms. What are your favorite? What are some of your favorite sitcoms?
I don't
You got a favorite?
I have a couple.
Okay. Jinx.
Hit us with them. Hit us with them, Elizabeth.
1-2 punch us with them.
I don't want to say because it's like so.
No, it's okay.
That's okay. Hey.
We talk about our embarrassing shit frequently.
It's not embarrassing. It's just like, okay, she's white. Like I like The Office and Parks and Rec.
I mean,
Those are good ones.
Listen, those are good shows.
Those
No,
are
I
objectively
know.
good shows.
And I know it's like it's the popular white opinion to like them, but if they're good, they're popular for a
Look,
reason.
things are basic because they're like enjoyed by a lot of people. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Well, we're on the same
Do you have
wavelength
any?
today.
Do you have any more like contemporary shows that you like to watch?
Yeah,
or
ones that have like
maybe,
coming out recently.
recently.
What are some like recent sitcoms that maybe
recent
you've seen?
sitcoms?
Yeah.
Oh, recently, watched Young Sheldon.
Ooh, Young Sheldon. I'm actually really glad that you brought up.
I'm
that
also really
show.
glad that you brought that up because
me and George have been meaning to talk about Young Sheldon.
yes, So me and Forrest, we absolutely adore Young Sheldon.
Avid haters of Big Bang Theory, and
we do not like
have
Big
a
Bang Theory.
deep love and appreciation for Young Sheldon.
I mean, can we just turn back time to the good old days?
Yeah, when
When our mama said,
Watch
put
Young
us
Sheldon.
to sleep watching Young Sheldon. Now, how did we get on this whole Young Sheldon journey? Like, what kind of inspired us to do this? What inspired you to get on this?
I could not get away from the TikTok clips.
Yeah.
So I'm on my phone. I got 2 hours of TikTok daily use. It's probably bad. But, like, I don't know if you remember in, like, 2020 and, like, 2021, when Young Sheldon clips were just popping off on TikTok. I mean,
everywhere.
I couldn't get away from that one clip where Sheldon was like, God isn't real. And then Pastor Jeff was like,
that was
yo,
episode
what
1.
the fuck are you talking about, kid?
He did not say that.
That's verbatim what he said. And I saw so many clips from Young Sheldon that eventually I had watched the entire first episode because I just kept going to the comments and clicking next.
Yeah.
Because something's wrong in there. And
with you?
Yeah.
In your brain?
And so at some point you need to give in, right?
Yeah.
Like at some point you must surrender yourself to what you enjoy and allow that to be beautiful.
Absolutely.
And for me, that's Young Sheldon.
I remember, Forrest, when Young Sheldon was first like announced to the worldwide public.
Do you remember seeing his face on the bus?
I do remember
Buses
where
everywhere.
he's like
stupid little bow tie.
Yeah, I remember when it was like first announced during the last season of The Big Bang Theory, and I was like, God, what a stupid idea for a show.
What a thing that sounds really awful. A spin-off of a already bad sitcom. How could that be good, Elizabeth? How could it be good?
How could it be
I don't
good?
know. I
Elizabeth,
didn't think it was going to be good.
Do you remember where you were when it was first announced?
When you lost your Young
When it was
Sheldon
first
identity?
announced, I think I was probably watching like. Wait, what number? Is it on CBS or ABC or something?
Who fucking knows?
I think it's CBS.
I think it's
CBS.
I think it's CBS because I was watching Survivor, I think, and I
Yeah,
saw
oh, yeah.
When you saw commercial?
promotion, yeah.
Whoa, what was
And I was
commercial
like, what the fuck is this? Who is Young Sheldon?
Wait, how old
Did it
were we?
grab you right away? I have no idea.
No.
I think we were like 12 years old
When Young Sheldon came out?
when Young Sheldon first
When
started.
did the first season of Young Sheldon come out? Young Sheldon first started in 1990.
Like,
Well, that's when he was born, I'm pretty sure.
That's not when he was born.
That's not when he was
That's when
born.
the first season takes place, George.
Sorry.
The first episode where it opens on him
Sorry.
playing with trains, and then 5 minutes in, he has an autistic meltdown.
Yeah, Forrest, I was getting the TikTok clips,
Yeah.
and it kind of changed my mind to the idea of Young Sheldon.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was like, I didn't get what the point was. I didn't think it would be entertaining, but
The idea that it could be something.
yeah, I saw a lot of potential after seeing that exact clip of Sheldon debating with Pastor Jeff.
And Pastor Chef goes, what the fuck?
Yeah, Pastor Jeff goes, what the fuck are you talking about?
And then I think he beats Sheldon.
He does punch him a little bit.
Yeah, on the nose.
Yeah,
I heard it
and-
breaks his vertebrae. It's pretty awesome.
Absolutely. And then Forrest watched the first episode, and he was like, I'll watch the first episode with you. And me and Elizabeth, freshman year of college, by the way, I know her
it was
from...
like freshman year of college.
No, I was saying, I'm getting there, don't worry. I'm talking about how we watched It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and then we were like, we need to do like one show each. Like we watched one show, someone else picks the next show.
Oh, a little tit for
I
tat.
don't
Yeah,
think
little-
we started out with that idea.
With It's Always Sunny?
I don't think we started out like, yeah, I'm gonna pick one and then you're gonna pick one. I don't think it was like that.
I mean, I think-
that happened after Young Sheldon.
I think I
Mistaken.
just wanted a show to watch with you, and I think I picked Young Sheldon
Fantastic show.
because Forrest was watching Young Sheldon, and I was like, wait, hold on, I want to copy this
Swearing by it.
guy.
Kind of dick rider behavior, honestly.
No, he is all up in my chicken. Frankly, on my meat all the time.
I fell in love with the show after the 7th episode. It took a little bit for me to really
Yeah.
trust the show and be like, this is something that I want to stick with through all 7 seasons.
Because when the first episode is good,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, anybody can make one good episode. The second episode is like fine, and you're like, okay, well, it's a second episode.
Yeah, how did you feel about the first episode, Elizabeth?
I mean, I think I liked the first episode. I wasn't like fully in it, but I was like, this
What was your
kinda
favorite
cute.
part? Was it when he went outside or when he was playing with trains?
Did
you like Billy Sparks?
I think I liked him and his mom. Like they were like in the car and she was like, I don't know,
She's a very
telling
sweet
him
mother.
like not to be like sad if people bully him or something.
In the first episode, I remember distinctly, Sheldon agreeing to pray at dinner, not because he believes in God, but because he believes in his mom.
Yeah.
And then, spoiler alert, it comes back in the last
Emotional.
episode. Dude.
It's emotional, and I don't think I've seen a sitcom genuinely deal with emotions as delicately and responsibly and impactfully as Young Sheldon has since, for me, How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think piggybacking off of that, the episode that kind of made me fall in love with the show was actually episode 7, and I remember it did the same for you. It was the episode where George Sr. was taking Sheldon to see a shuttle launch.
Oh, yeah.
And then it got rained out, and Sheldon was so upset. Naturally, if I was gonna go see a shuttle launch and it got canceled because of the rain,
Yeah, fuck that.
I'd be pissed.
I'd probably make it a machine. Like, I would the rain.
I would do that too.
If I was Sheldon.
And George asked him about science stuff, and Sheldon was going on, and then the voiceover was like, "Oh, I didn't realize at the time, but my dad only asked that about science stuff so that he could talk to me, and I really appreciated that. I wish I told him that before he died."
Ooh.
The waterworks were going.
Episode
I went to the bathroom.
7.
I cried.
Episode 7.
Yeah.
Season 1. This kid is like 3 inches tall. Like, it's insane.
Yeah, I remember Elizabeth kind of wanting to give up on the show a little bit. Like, I could tell she had that vibe of like, I don't know.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Wrong. That's wrong with you.
I mean, hey, I agree.
I'm
Sad.
wrong to have opinions and feelings.
When they're against Young Sheldon, yes.
That's kind of cool behavior. I don't know.
Well, yeah, well, I would join. I would join his.
I would join a Young Sheldon cult.
Are you kidding me?
I'm sure he knows what you're talking
Ian
about.
Armitage comes up to me in a bar. We're both not supposed to be there.
You guys are both under 21.
And he goes, Forrest Ganya, I'm here to recruit you into the cult of Young Sheldon.
Mm-hmm.
I shake his hand and I drink the Gatorade.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's it. It's done.
What are some of your favorite moments on Young Sheldon, Elizabeth? Well, I mean, should we start with characters first and then go into moments? I think that would be much easier.
I think it's more, yeah.
So let's start off with our thoughts on some of the characters. Let's start off with I don't know, Young Sheldon. How do we feel
Sheldon
about
himself.
Name of the game, Young Sheldon? He's a very controversial figure in the Young Sheldon universe. And within the fandom, because a lot of people, they don't like him, and then in the show, everyone in the town, they're well aware of him, and they hate him, he's annoying, blah, blah, blah. How do you two feel about Young Sheldon, the character?
I like Young Sheldon, I'll say it. I think that he is... I mean, obviously, so the whole series is told from his point of view, which gives the viewer a natural bias towards him. And it's very hard to look at things objectively and, think to yourself, well... do I really like Sheldon, or do I like the way that he's telling his story?
Yeah.
Right.
Kind of builds an untrustworthy narrator kind of story a little bit.
Which is something I like in my sitcoms.
I do. It's something, yeah.
It allows for a little bit more, fantasy to be involved and, a little larger than life scenarios to really, show up in situations that they otherwise wouldn't.
I'm only realizing now that How I Met Your Mother and Young Sheldon...
unreliable narrators.
Both have unreliable narrators, and those are two of your favorite shows of all time.
Yeah, they are. And look, there's a common thread between both of them. Both of the main characters have brown hair. I'm glad that you brought that up,
Both
George.
the characters are white and have brown hair, just like you in real life.
Just like me. Many people have called me an older Young Sheldon.
That's true.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Didn't Caleb say he was going to write a Young Forrest show?
That is a real thing that another human being has looked me in the eyes and said very seriously to
that
me.
He actively wants to write that.
Wants to write a Young Sheldon show because, quote, your life is so funny.
Would you watch Young Forrest, Elizabeth?
There's a lot of good stuff in there.
Sheldon?
No, when I was in 3rd grade, I threw rocks at kids' necks. And when I was in 4th grade, me and my friend Nathan would hang out on top of the slide and yell into each other's ears as loud as we could.
Oh. See,
But many people say that makes good television.
I think
I don't think so.
It'd be like...
I have to disagree.
It'd be like a version of Young Sheldon where he's not incredibly smart. He's just incredibly narcissistic and evil.
Which are my two defining traits, by the way.
When you were in 3rd grade, maybe.
When I was in 3rd grade, no, I was more of a Sheldon.
I know.
I was more of a... No, that's a lie. Straight lie. I was more of a Missy.
Really?
Oh,
I thought you were going to say you were more of a Georgie.
I think my whole life I've been more of a Missy.
Is that who you can...
In the show? The show Young Sheldon? Yeah, she's the most, normal, sociable person.
That's fair.
So, yeah, I think she's who I can.
I'm a Pastor Jeff.
She's, good at people. I'm good at people, I think. You think you're Pastor Jeff?
Nah,
Would you buy that flat screen? That television?
Yes, I would.
Yeah. If God blessed you with money, would you spend it on TV?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Probably. I know she would. She doesn't have a TV in her apartment right now.
Yeah,
Right now I would.
You gotta work on
I
that.
would want the TV.
It's not her fault.
Nah, well, you gotta work on that, though.
Yeah, I think
It's not my responsibility. So.
Young Sheldon, he's naturally a very interesting character. I find him much more interesting as a young Sheldon instead of older Sheldon.
Oh,
I think older Sheldon is
adult
kind
Sheldon.
of cringe.
Anytime adult Sheldon comes out, that motherfucker needs to grow up.
Yeah.
Because when he's young Sheldon, It's charming. It's
Are you
cute.
talking about the voiceover?
I'm talking about
Or
Jim
Big Bang
Parsons or
Theory?
whatever the fuck
Oh.
his name is. Anytime I see
You know
him
his
on a
name.
screen, I'm immediately enraged.
Really?
I cannot get, what's the opposite of can't get enough?
Can't get away fast enough.
I can't not get enough of that guy. Nailed that shit.
Yeah, I just think, I don't know. I think the show misuses him a lot, especially in the later seasons. Because
Young Sheldon?
Yeah, Young Sheldon.
I agree.
What I found most interesting about the show was seeing these characters try to relate to Sheldon. Because he's automatically like a very unrelatable character to the people in the universe, which makes him more relatable to us because, everyone has feelings of being misunderstood about how you feel about things or what you want. But later on in the show, it just kind of became the Sheldon fucks off show.
Yeah.
Here's like Georgie's like relationship problem, and here's
Setting up the spin-off
here's
show.
setting up the which we'll get to.
Yeah, we will get to.
Okay.
Then you got George Sr. and Mary are having marital problems, which was one of the best parts of the show. But it's
Yeah,
like
100%
Genuinely surprising.
I want to see more moments where young Sheldon is like helping out his family and
Yeah, the
being there for
highlight
them.
of the show isn't Young Sheldon.
No.
It's the interpersonal relations that a person like Young Sheldon creates around him,
Yeah.
right? Because what do you do if you're some like low class, like middle of nowhere Texas family and suddenly you have a kid who's getting published in like journals with cutting edge science? What do you do when your kid orders uranium to the house? What do you do
And gets
when
rid of it, yeah.
your like 11-year-old has a sleepover with Dr. Sturgis?
How do you feel about that?
How do
in the
you
show
feel
they did
about
not
that
give a shit.
if you're Mary Cooper, and then maybe in the middle of the night, like Sheldon gets hurt or like falls over, and then Dr. Sturgis falls over and he gets knocked out, and then Sheldon accidentally lights a fire with the stove, and then they both have to evacuate the house. Like, how do you feel about that?
How do you feel about that,
Did
Elizabeth?
that happen?
100%
I
that
literally
happened.
do
That
not
did
remember
happen.
that.
Season 2
I
or
don't think
3?
I
That was
remember
early
that
season.
at
Yeah, that was
all.
early season 2.
1991, I believe.
No.
100% that happened, though. You don't
I
remember
don't
that?
remember that at all.
How do
I
you
don't
feel about the
remember
relationship
it.
between Dr. Sturgis and Sheldon? Do you think it's inappropriate if you were a parent? Would you like that?
I mean, I think it was like kind of a different time. Like people weren't like as like concerned about like children and adults being like around each other.
Really? I think it would, if anything, it's more normalized.
Really?
Like, if you go
No,
back,
no.
if you go back like any amount of years, I think it's more normalized every year you go back.
Yeah, that's what she's saying.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, people
She's saying-
weren't worried about it. Oh, yeah.
She's saying people weren't worried about it back then.
And I think like they were just like they wanted someone who was like similar to Sheldon and could like talk to him about his like nerdy stuff.
Do you think it's a product of neglect?
I don't think so. I think they were trying their best.
I agree.
Yeah,
I
but
think
yeah.
it was like a situation that a child that they were very much so not equipped to handle. I don't think anyone on the planet is well equipped to handle.
How do you
a child
handle
like Sheldon?
because even like Dr. Linklater and Dr. Sturgis couldn't
Yeah,
handle
they couldn't
it.
get a grasp on.
No,
on
they
Sheldon.
tried. They tried his best. They resorted to lying and scandals before
Yeah.
they told him, "You're better than us."
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
What about Missy? How do we feel about Missy in the
I love
room?
this.
Yeah, I mean, you already said you can
Season
Missy.
one, yeah.
I think is that your favorite character, Elizabeth?
I think so.
Okay,
But I
well,
also
why?
What is it about Missy? Is it her sass?
Very sassy.
She's just I don't know. Yeah, she's like kind of like Sheldon's like opposite
Yeah.
in that she's like more like social and not as smart, but she's kind of like aware of that and isn't really like making too much of an effort to like be smart because she doesn't need to be.
Well, I think she realizes that she's smart in ways that Sheldon
Absolutely
isn't at all.
I mean, remember that one episode
Yeah.
in season 1 where like
Emotional intelligence.
they were doing the different tests. That's one of my favorite episodes
People-
in the
yeah.
show.
People always talk about IQ, but what about EQ?
Exactly.
And that's where that's where Missy really shines, is her EQ compared to Sheldon's IQ.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I feel like I Missy was probably the character that I felt the most like empathy for throughout the show.
Yeah.
Because I've heard the term. I was on Young Sheldon TikTok for quite a while, and Missy was being referred to as a glass child, someone who's like forgotten about for a wide variety of reasons. Like they don't forget about her, but she's like not as focused on as the other kids, so she kind of like is more. She's not as fragile. She's actually stronger. I would argue than the other ones, but they see right through her. There you go. Because like Mary is focused on making Sheldon happy in every single situation. Georgie and his dad, like they have football. They have like just being.
They have being a man.
They have being men.
It's like their whole thing, their whole bond is that they are both men.
I was thinking that like the show would have Mima be the one for Missy, but Mima was kind of more.
They played with that concept, but it didn't end out that way.
She just ended up being with Sheldon at the beginning, and then eventually she went to Georgie near the end of the show, you know, with the whole lottery and all that.
Well, I mean, she started going with Georgie when the...
I'm sorry?
It's not like a lottery, it's gambling.
It's gambling.
My fault.
Yeah, a lottery would be state run.
Yeah, I know.
Come on, George.
Sorry, I've been watching the Mr. Beast videos.
Mima is more of like a filler character. You know, she starts on Sheldon for sure, but then she moves on very quickly to Georgie when the pregnancy happens. With Mandy, when Georgie goes on a date with a 29-year-old.
Yeah, I still can't believe that story passed like the writer's room.
Yeah.
Someone suggested that and they were like,
it's Kim from Kicking It.
It's let's talk about Mima. How do we feel about it? I love Mima.
She's amazing.
I think Mima is the GOAT. I don't think she was ever supposed to be like that important of a character. I feel like she was, supposed to just be like there for jokes, but she absolutely like stole the show throughout the season. Like she always had something huge going on.
It's true.
When like characters like Missy and Georgie for the most part didn't really do much, and George didn't really do much until like middle of season 4. Mima was like, she had Dr. Sturgis, and then Dr. Linkletter was also there, and now she's like in jail, and she's doing like it's just like an absolutely...
And then Dale.
Oh, Dale.
So, Forrest, please tell your opinions on Dale, because me and Elizabeth, we hate Dale.
You guys hate Dale?
We fucking hate Dale.
I think Dale is written exactly how he should be. I think he's like exactly what he should be, in the sense that he's just like this geezerly old man who's like kind of closed-minded, unless the show is like worried about being homophobic or something, at which point they're like, he's not that closed-minded.
There are a lot of moments in the show where like,
but in the last season, he had some good quips. He has some funny moments, I think, where he's just like such a dick. I think it works for him.
I really like the bit in the show where the characters like feel like they should be racist and homophobic because it's Texas in the 90s.
Yeah.
And like, but they're just like so not. Like I remember one moment where like Sheldon had a crush on his like babysitter, I think, and she was black, and George and Georgie were like, George was like to Georgie like, no, I didn't know she was black, and George is like, you got a problem with that? And it's like, like Georgie's super fucking base, and Sheldon famously in Big Bang Theory is a super sexist character. She actually says to a female scientist in one of the episodes that she must have an invisible penis because she's so incredibly smart. Yes, that's a real thing that Sheldon Cooper has said. Not my baby boy Young Sheldon, though. He's absolutely fine.
Young Sheldon doesn't have a hint of sexism in him.
No, actually, in one of the episodes...
That's actually not true at all. He is a very strong believer in the traditional household, I think.
The Young Sheldon?
Yeah.
I remember in one of the episodes...
I don't think he knows better, but I think he is.
Young Sheldon was kind of like, you don't want to like... Young Sheldon was just like, women should be in the workforce. He was very strong on women being in the workforce, when it didn't feel like he was.
Yeah, but at the same time, he's also been like, yeah, my mom's kind of the housekeeper. She's the only one who can do it, and the only one who should do it. And it's like, this is my mom's job, to be the housekeeper. And it's like, it just feels like a little bit like maybe he really believes in traditional values.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's also what he grew up in and what he knows, and he's a very pattern-oriented person, so it's justifiable in that sense from a character's point of view.
I'm just saying, in one of the episodes, he was so not, like, thinking that.
Yes, but for every other episode, he was.
I'm just saying, just
so
random moments.
I agree with you. Like, it's not all episodes.
No.
There's a few bad apples in the episodes, but for the large part, they actually, instead of addressing it, just kind of dance around it.
I think,
which is fine.
I think my favorite character in the show, I've kind of tossed around at night, debating in my mind, like, who do I think is the best, most well-written character and who has like the best arc throughout the show. And I think I might have to go with Mary. I think 100%. Mary is a very interesting character in the Young Sheldon universe. She goes through a lot of like very interesting arcs that like toy with her sense of morality in a way that like doesn't happen with the other characters. Such as like when she almost had an affair with Pastor Rob.
Crazy.
Getting kicked out of the church and still having to be like, I still believe in God, but like all these people abandoned me. What are your thoughts on that, Liz? What are your thoughts on Mary?
I mean, I think I love Mary. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's like, I wouldn't expect to like her so much because she's like so like Baptist, and I'm not really like, I never like was religious, but she's like, she kind of has like very like human like struggles with her faith, and that's what kind of makes her like relatable, even though I'm not Christian, but like I don't know, she's like human.
She also has a lot of like, she has a lot of moments where she regresses as a character.
Absolutely.
Which I adore in writing.
Not enough shows do that.
When people write a character to have an amount of like what people would consider progress and then take it all away because like one thing happened, and then it's like, then they have to build back up to it. I think that Young Sheldon does that a lot, but I think it does it specifically with Mary in a really fun way. Because we keep seeing her like, throughout the show, we see her go like, oh, well maybe like I can work. And then she's like, oh, nope. Or you see her like make progress with her personal relationship with religion, and then like something happens and she's like, oh fuck, I gotta build like a prayer garden. And you see her like dive deeper and then go more shallow, and like it's just very interesting the way that they play around with that, and it's very human.
And you know what I think is very interesting? She ends the show in like a much worse mental place than at the beginning of the show, because at the end of the show, her husband dies. He died of a heart attack, and she like dives like head first.
Spoiler alert.
I don't think the audience cares.
That last episode.
Can we talk?
We could talk about it.
Well,
when I was watching that last,
about Georgie and George Senior. But yeah, I just think it's like shows don't do that, and I just thought it was so raw and like and human for a show not to just like end like they're all great now. Mary is in a really tough spot, and that's just where she's at now.
Yeah, I love nothing more than a hard ending to a story where you don't get closure.
Yeah,
I think that as a literary device is. One of the best things you can do.
Like Barry. Barry did that phenomenally well.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. Just wanted to give a shout out to Barry.
Shout out Barry.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Barry. Georgie Cooper.
Elizabeth, what do you think about Georgie Cooper?
Please give us your unfiltered
Do you think that
opinion.
he's the hottest person on the show?
I don't think I'm allowed to say.
You're allowed to say whatever you want?
Because like, I think at the beginning, like he was like, probably like 14 or something.
Well, I mean, obviously,
but still, we watched it at the beginning.
I just wanted to
when you picture Young Sheldon,
I think he has great hair.
When you picture Young Sheldon, do you think of the like first season or the 7th season people? I think of 7th.
I think of 7th season.
Whenever I think about a show, I always think of the most recent version I saw them in.
Actually, I think of every character as 7th season except for Sheldon, who I still envision as like a little lima bean with a little bow tie. Like I hate it. I know it was like important to the plot where he like found his comic book shirts and he would wear those, but I vastly prefer Young Sheldon where he's wearing his short sleeve plaid shirts.
He's still definitely getting down with that fit every now and again. Like he didn't abandon it fully. Did he?
It was like half and half.
Yeah.
In the like.
It's definitely much less. It's much less.
I thought it was cringe.
Agree.
I mean, I think it would be kind of like dumb looking if he was like, he's like 6 feet tall and he's like To put him in like a tiny little bow tie would look ridiculous, I think.
Well, I think that's part of the charm.
That's why I like it. Like, imagine a 6 foot guy.
I don't think it would.
Imagine a 6 foot guy wearing a bow tie. Like, that's just.
I want him.
That's just so embarrassing.
I want him to be at every moment possible. I want him to be like in a bow tie, in a plaid shirt. I want him to be at his father's funeral wearing that fuck ass plaid shirt and tiny bow tie, head proportion way off, tiny bow tie, tiny. Mm-hmm. Because you need something to cut through. You need something to cut through the pure raw emotion of that moment. What do you think, George?
I mean, I just like it's such a hard thing. It's such a For the audio listeners, I did just put a bow tie on.
Yeah. I distracted her so well.
I was really struggling trying to get it on. I was like,
it took me forever to put that on.
Please don't look, Elizabeth. Please don't look.
I really fell for that. Switch over.
It's okay. Everybody's our little puppet.
I think the last character that we should go like in depth on is George Cooper, the last member.
George Cooper Sr.
There are other characters like Mandy who shows up much later on.
I'm not a Mandy
but I don't think there's not
Nobody
much.
is.
I think they had an interesting concept with her parents, and they didn't capitalize.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, how would you guys feel if I used the bathroom right now?
You're chill. You guys hate Dale?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I think we were really big Sturgis fans.
Oh, yeah.
We like wanted Sturgis to come back so bad. Like we just kept like.
I would have loved if Sturgis came back.
Yeah.
But
I understand why it didn't work out with him.
I kind of like Dale for the idea of like an old person like they have a very good old person relationship. I don't know how else to say that.
No, I agree. I don't like him.
That's fair. He's definitely.
He's like kind of like
jarring. He's the most like old school.
Yeah.
I guess maybe problematic type. I don't know. I don't know the word I'm looking for. Do you know what I mean? Like he's like he's the hardest to like.
Yeah.
I guess.
I think it's just like they set him up and it's like he like doesn't want Missy to be on the team because she's a girl or whatever, and it's like obviously it was the 80s. Like
Splash some water on my pants. That's
not pee.
That's not pee.
You didn't piss all over your jeans.
I did not piss all over my jeans. I really wish the camera was on for this segment. I did not piss on my jeans. It's just a little bit of water.
Yeah, we all saw you piss all over your jeans.
You guys just watched it in silence. Were you guys talking about Dale?
We were talking about Dale. Mm-hmm. I think that I was just wondering like why you didn't like Dale.
He wasn't Dr. Sturgis. And that's true.
That's what she said, yeah.
My whole opinion. I thought Dr. Sturgis was just a much more interesting and funny character to me. I thought Dale had like no bangers other than like making a funny old man face. Dr. Sturgis would be like, people make fun of how I run. And then like later on he's like, now I'm getting out of here. And he's like running so incredibly slow. And Mima's like, wow, he really does run slow.
No, I love a pathetic loser on the screen. Mm-hmm. And he plays a loser well.
He does.
He is pathetic to the core.
His voice is just
everything's
so,
perfect. Everything is perfect.
Yeah. Mm.
I like Dale. I like Dale for what he is and nothing more.
I think he was too forced into the show for my liking.
It was weird the way that they just kind of like shoehorned him in.
Do you agree with me, Elizabeth?
I don't know.
But also that's just like, that's how real life relationships work, George. Sometimes people shoehorn their way into your life.
That's true.
And that's okay.
But I feel like that's not the lesson to teach with. I don't think that's what they were going for. I think they were just like, we want to get Mr. Incredible on the show.
He's Mr. Incredible?
Yes.
Yeah.
Whoa. Dude. He does not look incredible.
No.
But his voice is incredible though. For the audio listeners, Elizabeth just fist bumped Forrest real hard.
I did.
Yeah, dude. It hurt.
Yeah.
Rings all over the knuckles.
Really strong. So.
Okay. I heard that you were really strong. I actually heard that Elizabeth in a fight with a wolf would one punch knock it out, kill it even.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but not if it whimpers.
No.
But that's what I hear. I don't know if my source is good.
I mean, I don't know.
But with that being said, George Cooper Sr.
George Cooper Sr. My opinion on George Cooper Sr. has gone up and down throughout the show. It's been a roller coaster. He's a very dynamic character. I think he has like really, really good moments and moments where I'm just like, you're just kind of the worst, man.
Yeah, I agree with that. But
like he was so down to fuck Brenda Sparks.
oh my god! But like that was a good arc. Like
kind of
just
like-
because somebody's the worst doesn't mean that you don't like them as a character. Arguably that means that they're a good character.
I would agree. I would agree with that.
I really loved the cheating arc.
I did too. I thought it was like crazy, and I never expected it to happen.
Mm.
And I think it's kind of like, it's valid because like she's kind of like, I don't know what she was doing. Like their marriage was just like bad, and then she's like talking to Pastor Rob, and he's kind of like, what's going on with that? And then like Brenda's around, and she's like newly divorced, and she kind of like is like a good friend to him.
I think Pastor Rob was after Brenda Sparks. I think what was going on at the time was Mary was making a lot of the household decisions about Sheldon.
Yeah, that's what
I remember you and I actually, Elizabeth, got in a pretty heated debate because this was like when like Sheldon got accepted into like Harvard or Yale or like a really top level university, and Mary like got the mail and like hid it from George because she was like, I'm not going to let Sheldon go there, so why even bother showing him? George eventually found it. No, Sheldon found it, showed George. They got in a heated debate about it. It was a Mary L. Like, we could be real. That was a Mary L. Yeah. Not a good wife maneuver, not a good mother maneuver.
Yeah, she's a deeply flawed person.
Which is my favorite thing about her. I love how flawed she is.
They both are. Everybody in that show, the way that the writers address their flaws, I think is incredible.
Absolutely. And I remember then we got into a debate on whether like Sheldon going to college at 11 years old was like the right thing or not.
For him.
I was on the right side of history. I thought young Sheldon should have gone to college. Like I thought that was the right move for him.
You think that was
personally.
the right thing for him? To go to traditional college.
It was. It would have been a full ride. They would have like looked out for him.
What do you mean?
That's where I was.
They would have looked. What does that mean?
It was Harvard.
11-year-old?
It was Harvard. You think Harvard, just because it's Harvard, they're gonna look out for you? That's ridiculous. They're a money-making machine. They're a privatized university in America, dude.
I know that, but I thought like Sheldon was getting absolutely nothing out of high school. What the fuck is he doing there?
They would 100% use and abuse his intelligence.
Because it wasn't just about him like advancing like his intelligence. Like he still needed to grow up, even though he was as smart. As the college kids, he didn't have like the socialization skills to like be okay away from his family at college and like with no one else.
But I
agree with that 100%.
I think young Sheldon was just like so vastly unhappy in where he was at, and I don't think he didn't get those skills even when he was there.
George, do you think that high school is for like intelligence?
I think it's a mix of both.
Mostly for intelligence, or do you think it's mostly for socialization?
I think it's a mix of both.
Okay, that's not an answer.
That is an answer.
That's fence sitting.
That's 100% fence sitting, and I'm tired of your fence sitting.
Fine, I think it is.
At some point, sitting on that fence is gonna hurt your balls.
High school is an institution to figure out what you want to do when you go to college. That is my true honest opinion.
So do you think it's more for socialization or more for intelligence building?
I think academics.
Really?
Yes.
I think that if they cared to make you smart in high school, it would be built very differently, and that it's almost entirely for socialization.
I think it's...
This is a college dropout speaking.
I think the institution of high school is to get money, and I think the thing that they're doing is like...
Wait, what do you mean? Money from who?
From like...
It's a public thing.
Taxpayers. Like
from taxpayers? Dude, what do you think high school is? No, keep going. I'm fascinated.
Taxpayers' money on high school.
Dude, oh my god, we're gonna get so many taxpayers to give us money. Dude, we're gonna start a school, and then we're gonna pay the teachers, we're gonna pay them nothing. Okay? And then we're gonna fund all the programs like nothing. And then the principals, they make a lot of money. Oh, they're gonna make so much money. Is that how you think that works?
Not anymore, I guess.
That's how college works, George.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're talking about like private school, like, yeah, that's to get money, but high school doesn't get it's public. It's public
I know it's
funded.
public. I just want Sheldon. I just wanted Sheldon to be happy. He wasn't happy at high school.
I think what was best for Sheldon was when they sent him to the place where in Germany when he was dumb and around people of his age.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was the best thing that they did for him. Not send him to college.
Was that not college that he went to in Germany?
It's different.
It was like
it's different because it was some program for gifted youths and people that all matched his intelligence.
It wasn't for gifted youths. There was one other kid there. But it was
for specifically gifted people.
Gifted people, but not necessarily like younger.
I guess not youths, but there were other youths there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
In a way that there wouldn't be at Harvard or Yale.
Maybe the situation that was going on from the original, like, full ride scholarship wasn't like perfect, but I think if I was with George, I think it would have been the right move. That's just what I personally think.
I think that if you were to send him to Harvard at that point in the Young Sheldon, what was it, like season 3 or 4?
Yeah, roughly.
That kid had no chance.
Yeah.
At what?
I think that Harvard would have honestly, like, if this was real world, we're talking about this like it's very real.
Yeah.
But I think that Harvard honestly would use him in a way that is not friendly to him or kind to him. I think it would.
That's what the college that he went to did.
I know. I don't think that's chill. I think that they would take advantage of him and use him as a poster boy and use them to further themselves in an academic field that they wouldn't otherwise be able to do without him. And therefore, it's not necessarily a good thing for him.
I would agree with that. I think a better question that should be posed for us is, what if Sheldon joined like a fight club?
I was thinking about that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it would be best if he did that in high school.
Yeah, I think that would actually be what was best. Don't send him to college.
Don't send him to college.
Don't send him to high school.
Certainly not, but you know where you can send him?
Where?
Somewhere maybe his dad can teach him a few things.
Yeah.
Somewhere beautiful?
Somewhere pretty?
Yeah, no, I think 100%. The thing that Sheldon lacks the most is not intelligence. He's clearly good at that.
He's so smart.
Have you seen the boy? That kid's scrawny as fuck. Okay? I don't care what Ian Armitage knows about karate. Sheldon knows nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly,
wait, does Ian Armitage know about karate?
Yeah, he's black belt.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you know that?
I'm on TikTok. Okay? Like, I see, like, interviews and shit.
Mm.
Anyways, my transition just got ruined. George, you go.
What the hell?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think what would have been best for Sheldon is to put him in a Mortal Kombat style tournament where he has to fight people in his lives. And I think the question that we have to decide is who would come out on top.
Oh, you know what we should call it?
What?
The Big Bang Showdown.
No, bang is kind of a rough word in the modern age. I'm kind of thinking maybe the Young Sheldon Showdown.
Ooh.
Battle Royale.
All right, so here's the deal.
Tell us the deal.
We have 16 fighters. Characters that you, Elizabeth, know and love.
Yes.
But me and George,
not all of them.
Okay.
me and George, I think we're too similar in a lot of ways.
We are.
I think that we have a lot of the same outlooks, and we were trying to figure this out, and it wasn't working.
No.
It wasn't working.
We couldn't figure it out.
And we needed a third person to kind of let us know, like, if you were to make all of them fight, like, who wins?
So here's the scenario going on. Here are the 16 characters that we have participating in the Battle Royale. We have George Sr. We have Tam. I found this awesome picture of Tam holding a gun. I don't remember that happening in Young Sheldon. But that is him right there.
That can't be in the series. Okay.
Are you sure that's him?
It's at least the actor.
Okay.
We got Mima,
Great question.
Young Sheldon himself, Dr. John Sturgis, Georgie Cooper, Mr. Lundy, Sheldon's theater teacher for roughly like 4 episodes.
A lot of rage.
Missy Cooper, Nathan, Sheldon's friend from the comic book store, Pastor Jeff, Billy Sparks, Pastor Rob, Dale, Peg, Paige,
Who's Peg?
and Veronica.
She works at the church.
She worked at the church.
The old one.
So what we're going to do is this is going to randomize a bunch of matchups for us. We're going to pick who would win each matchup until we get to one more fighter left. So, you know what? Enough pussyfooting around.
Dude, Is it just me or have we been pussyfooting for like an hour and a half?
Well, I feel like we've been deeply analyzing Young Sheldon and a lot of
we're saying the same thing.
Turmoils within. We'll start with the Sweet 16. Well, we'll do the Sweet 16. Starting off, we got Missy Cooper and Nathan. Now,
Question.
Yes, Forrest.
So I noticed that in the image, Missy has a baseball bat.
I think if the character, if an item or a thing makes sense for the character to have in that exact moment, they're allowed to have it. Missy Cooper played baseball for about 2 seasons, right, under Dale. So I think, let her...
If it's in her room, I think she gets to have it.
But since Nathan is a major comic book fan, maybe he has like batarangs or maybe like
or like a fake gun that goes pew pew pew.
Yeah, but it's not real.
It's definitely not real.
I'll give you a quick scenario on all that.
So they know that they're going into a battle royale.
Yeah, they are incredibly bloodlusted.
Okay.
They had an hour of prep time.
Gotcha.
And one person has to die.
Yeah, it's to the death.
It's to the death.
And they've been given a frenzy drug so that they want to kill so bad. They want to kill so bad.
So between Missy Cooper and Nathan, who's coming out on top in this death battle?
What do you think, Elizabeth?
I think Missy.
Absolutely.
100% it's Missy. The thing about Nathan is that
like
although he's an adult male, I don't think he's ever been touched with more force than what would be equivalent to 5 pounds.
No.
I think that, like, when him and his friends mess around, it's really just like, I don't know, dude. I think the strongest he's ever felt is spiking a controller. And I think that that's a pretty sad existence.
Definitely spiking a Wii remote to the ground after losing in Wii bowling.
Like he might have tried to break his TV with that remote and it just didn't go through.
Yeah, and need I remind you, we've seen Missy Cooper throw down on multiple occasions.
Yeah.
A boy that she liked didn't like her back and she like tackled him to the ground.
To much success.
It was awesome. I think this is no contest.
It's not even close.
We're going with Missy Cooper. Pastor Jeff versus Dale.
This is a fight.
You think this is a fight? Actually...
It is a fight, though.
It is kind of a fight.
Pastor Jeff, he's in shape. Dale keeps it tight. Here's the Dale with it all.
Dale keeps it loose. Pastor Jeff keeps it tight as a tiger.
Are you kidding me? They're both tight.
No, Dale keeps it loosey-goosey, but that makes him, like, able to move around a bit more.
George?
Yeah?
They're tight.
No.
They both keep it tight.
Elizabeth, do you think Dale keeps it tight?
You think Dale's keeping it tight for Mima? I think he keeps it tight for Mima.
I think it's like a little bit loose, but that's only natural with age.
I guess.
That's what I'm thinking. He's a geezer.
So,
he's
Pastor Jeff, he's in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
I feel like Dale has a lot of fighting experience.
Absolutely.
I personally would not want to fuck with Dale. But I think that makes it. But he's brittle.
Not an evil side.
He's very brittle. So it's like, who... Is it experience or is it youth that's coming out on top here? And also, I think keep in mind that Dale has a sporting goods store.
He does.
So it's within... But
do you think Pastor Jeff prayed before this fight? Because I think that turns the tide, in my opinion.
Well, he had an hour to pray. But
sounds like he's going to be coming out of this incredibly
Did he remember to bring his hammer and nail?
Probably. I'm sure he has like a cross that he's fighting with.
You think he would demean the cross?
I think if he is incredibly bloodlusted and has to win this fight, I think he will use the power of Christ.
Okay.
To bash Dale.
Who do you think wins? I don't know. I think this is tight though.
I think Dale would come out on top personally.
And why is that?
Why is that?
How would the fight go?
I feel like he has fought people before.
Okay.
You know, like
in what kind of scenario though?
Oh, like drunk at a bar, like often. I feel like Dale had a long period of time where he was probably putting a lot of people to the floor.
This face?
Yeah, that face.
Yeah.
That's Mr. Incredible you're speaking to. I can't believe you don't know that.
I don't know. I think youth would triumph in this scenario only. But if you guys disagree, let's do it against one.
Dale with a golf club. I don't know. I think he takes him out.
I think Dale wins.
Dale. All right.
Majority.
I respect it. Mima versus Pastor Rob.
Ooh. An hour of prep time? What's Mima doing for prep?
Probably buying guns.
Buying guns? She has guns.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah,
right?
she'll buy more.
All of these people probably have guns. They all live in Texas.
I don't think he does.
Pastor
He looks
Jeff
like a
definitely
total
Pastor Rob.
liberal. I can't even see him like living in Texas. Honestly, this character takes me out of the whole show because he doesn't.
I actually agree with that.
Well, I think that's the point. He's supposed to be like.
I mean, he is a guy who moved into town.
He's super not from here. Yeah, he moved into town.
That's
He's
his
like,
whole thing.
He's Christian, but he doesn't like teach the Bible.
Yeah.
He's like, I smoke weed. I smoked weed.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, is why he would lose. Because he destroyed his frontal lobe at a young age, smoking all that good. And now Mima, with her copious amount of guns, is coming in guns a-blazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this is a Mima sweep.
I think Mima could even throw cookies at him until he dies of diabetes.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of ways that this fight could go, but I think a lot of them go Mima.
I think it's 80% Mima.
I think she has a stronger will.
Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Mima's terrifying.
She is.
If she's fighting for something, I think she's unstoppable. If she's fighting for herself, I think she's more stoppable, but still hard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm going with Mima. Peg versus Paige.
Oh, this is a true battle of the
This is genuinely a thumb tapper.
Peg versus Paige is a lot, because Paige is obviously very smart, right?
Yeah.
She's got she could hatch a lot of plans, but she's not smart, like comic book smart in the same way that Sheldon may be, so it's not so much like combat ideas and experience. Peg, although a good Christian, arguably, seems like she might have had a rough go of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the secret here is that as long as Paige
Paige went dark though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Paige punched Sheldon, knocked his lights out.
Did she knock him out?
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. That's a powerful. It's hard to knock somebody out.
I think as long as Paige destroys Peg's cigarette collection, Peg is stoppable. But if she has a cigarette pack on her, it's a lot
How
harder.
would that make her stronger?
Well, here's what she does. She fashions them into darts. She gets out her whittling knife and she
Yeah.
whittles them.
Yeah, because you remember the episode where Peg was in a whittling competition.
Yeah, do you remember that?
Do you remember that episode?
Do you remember that episode
Okay,
where she
clearly
was
she
whittling,
wasn't paying attention.
where she was whittling all those things? And so anyways, she
Can't even
would
name the
darts.
things.
She was whittling darts and she started throwing them and they stuck. They stuck into wood.
Yeah.
Do you know how much harder wood is than the human flesh?
Much harder.
Much harder.
Yeah.
Who do you think is winning this?
Honestly, Peg seems like maybe 10, 15 years ago this could have been a battle, but honestly, I think
She is on her last lung.
she is I
That's
feel like
true.
literally one swift punch to the chest, she's
If
done
Paige
for.
ran in a circle for 5 minutes, Peg would die on her own.
Yeah, and,
You know?
and I think Paige is smart enough to
Paige
recognize
knows that.
and take
Yeah,
advantage of
Paige sees her pocket cigars and knows it's over.
that. Oh no!
Oh no! I was hoping this wouldn't happen. I wanted to keep him.
I wanted to keep Young Sheldon so bad.
For the audio people, this is Georgie versus Young Sheldon.
And it's just
And I think we might have seen this go down a few times. I mean, certainly brothers,
they tussle.
Yeah.
they tussle. They know how each other
I
fight.
have two brothers. We tussle all the time.
It's just not even close.
Oh yeah.
It's just not. If only they had some kind of perks or anything to make this fight more fair or something.
Dude,
Fuck. God. Fuck.
yeah, it's Georgie. It's a Georgie sweep,
It's
man.
a Georgie sweep.
Young Sheldon was never gonna win a
I
fight.
don't. Yeah, I'm trying to
He
envision.
famously
a match
would
that
not
he
win a
would
fight.
I remember there was one episode about bullies. Young Sheldon brought a slingshot and shot a rock at his
Okay,
forehead.
this is actually a good point. He has an hour to prep. Young Sheldon has
That's
an
true.
hour
He
to
could just
prep.
make a bomb.
He could.
He got
He could make a
so
pipe
much
bomb.
uranium.
True.
He doesn't have uranium. They got rid of that.
Yeah, but he
they
can
had
he
to do
can
that.
he can
Not
get
within
that.
an hour.
True.
You kidding me? How do you source uranium in an hour? Takes an hour to ship by Amazon drones.
Young Sheldon will find a way. Young Sheldon is like Batman. As long as he has a little bit of prep time, he'll win any fight.
I do think that actually there is a fighting chance for Young Sheldon.
Because what is Georgie doing in his prep time? Push-ups?
He's getting a nice pump.
What is Young Sheldon doing?
I think
Fashioning
actually,
a rocket ship.
Yeah, I think what Georgie is doing in his prep time is fashioning a weapon. Maybe he's trying to find something. Maybe he's stopping by Dale's store, of which he is a former employee, and grabbing anything that he might deem useful.
But I can very clearly see young Sheldon like fashioning acid in like a lab.
I agree.
And then like even if Georgie has like I don't know, a hatchet, he's walking up to young Sheldon, he tosses acid in his face. That's a done deal.
Like if they have bleach and the other thing, young Sheldon makes mustard gas. Like that. And then he probably is able to fashion like some sort of air cannon in which
I don't think he would get that far. Like I think there would have to be still a process.
How long is
yeah, but once the fight starts, he has to actually make it happen.
And I think he could.
Some sort of gas.
Georgie
I think Georgie would just run up and tackle him.
It's true. Georgie could rush him down.
I think
But I think young Sheldon
Could young Sheldon make a trap?
Listen, I'm just trying to play devil's advocate for a second, just trying to see if there's any scenario where young Sheldon wins.
I'm trying so hard to justify it in my
Young
head.
Sheldon has ran away from things for his entire life. If he needs to escape from Georgie, I think
Georgie's
he will be
faster.
able to. I think he's faster.
Georgie's been catching young Sheldon for his entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it that way. Switch the paradigm.
Is this young Sheldon, or is this like end of the show young Sheldon?
It doesn't matter because either way you're dealing with young Georgie or end of the show Georgie, who could probably rip his head off.
Yeah.
All he does is work out and have a kid.
I don't want to see him go.
I know, but it's gotta be Georgie.
I know, I don't want to see him go.
You gotta do it.
Can you do it for me, Elizabeth?
I feel like it's a lot easier for her than it is for us.
Ooh!
Tam versus Billy Sparks.
What are your thoughts on this matchup, Elizabeth?
I'm not sure. I feel like neither of them would want to fight.
Okay, but as we've stated, they really want to kill someone.
It's hard to see like Billy Sparks.
Are you kidding me? I could see Billy
being,
Sparks killing something on accident.
On accident,
Maybe like
but
a chicken.
on purpose. I feel like
No, but that means he knows
hard
how.
for him.
He's like, oh, I've done this before. He could recreate it. But Tam plays a lot of first-person shooters, and
That's true.
yeah, he has a gun.
True? I don't think this is from Young Sheldon.
I don't think so either.
Tam,
Unless it's like a fake gun. I don't know.
Tam, I think.
Well, oh no, actually that's from the episode where the school goes to the shooting range and they start. I'm obviously lying, you guys. You guys looked at me so earnestly.
I was like, I forget the school shooting episode of Young Sheldon.
That was scrapped.
Yeah,
Jinx.
I'm sure someone in the writers' room tried to get that.
Someone in the writing room was like, and then Young Sheldon stops the shooter.
Because
it was a bad episode.
Because I mean, if they suggested like Georgie getting with Mandy when she was 29, I'm sure what didn't make it through.
17
You know what I mean?
and 29. I think about that often.
Who suggested that?
17 and 29. Oh yeah, I said I was 18. Dog, you're still 29. Like,
Well, Georgie said he was 21.
21. I guess that's better. But anyways, Billy Sparks versus Tam, both characters that don't get a lot of screen time.
No, Tam got shafted in the second half
Yeah,
of the show.
and also then he just like showed up
at the very end.
at the very end out of nowhere, and it was frankly odd.
You know, in Big Bang Theory, actually,
They talk about him as someone who's slighted.
Yeah, Tam was like Sheldon saw Tam as someone who was like, he betrayed me.
Yeah.
And the worst thing he did was go to college without telling Sheldon. Bitch, you went to college like 3 times without telling Tam.
Yeah.
You don't know if he told Tam off screen.
Maybe, I guess not. I guess not, but that is
Off-screen.
Forrest, that is a lame argument.
I know. This argument sucks. I kind of think it's Tam just based off of physicality. I mean, he's a relatively in shape person more than Billy Sparks is. I think that Billy Sparks doesn't quite have the understanding of human analogy. Anatomy.
Yeah, but I mean, I think
Anatomy. What is?
I think Billy Sparks,
The third one today.
Billy Sparks
guys.
is like a relatively larger person and would be harder to take down from Tam. Because I don't know what weapons.
Tam's smart though. Tam also has the prep time.
He's not that smart.
He's not that smart.
Does he do anything smart in the show?
He's like, well, he talks to Sheldon. You have to be a certain, in order to be Sheldon's friend, and I mean this, I think you have to be a certain threshold of intelligence. And I don't think you have to be super smart, but you have to be smart enough to at least follow his train of thought to some extent.
I mean, we've clearly seen that Tam like just kind of ignores Sheldon. I don't think you need to be smart. I think you need to have an iron will to just like sit there and listen.
And that iron will is exactly what's going to take him through this fight.
Okay,
He will fight to his last breath.
I'm picking Billy, and it seems
You
like you're
think
picking
Billy
Tam.
and you think Tam? Honestly,
Ultimate decider.
That's why we brought you.
That's why we brought you.
Because I think Billy could be strong, but I don't know if he is.
What do you think about Tam?
I don't know. I think Tam is so nothing. Like, I can't see like a particular way of him defeating Billy.
Well, let me tell you this. Fun fact about Tam. He once competed on American Ninja Warrior and won the world record.
Tam did?
Yeah,
that happened
that's canon.
to Tam?
That's on the wiki. Don't look it up. It's on the wiki.
Well, Billy Sparks
That's a lie.
was on a season
lie.
of Survivor.
That's a lie. George is lying. I'm not.
I'm not lying,
I
Elizabeth.
feel like you guys are both lying.
And either way, my lie is so much better. Ninja's in the name and warrior. Hello.
Why'd you pick
Ninja?
Why'd you pick Ninja Warrior for Tam?
American
What about
Ninja
him
Warrior. That's like the most physically impressive thing you can ever do.
I think White
Like,
Belt's pretty impressive.
looking at this picture of him with the gun, I feel like, oh, he's gonna kill Billy, but
He doesn't have that gun.
he doesn't. That's not a thing.
No, he doesn't. No, instead he has two guns right here and here.
It's a
See,
thumb
at the
tapper.
beginning, I was thinking Billy, but now I kind of feel like it's Tam.
Why's that?
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like he would be a lot quicker.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. I think based off of physicality alone, Tam wins.
What move does Tam do to take out Billy?
Oh, his special move?
That's if you can convince me of his special move, Elizabeth, I will.
I don't think it actually takes much to take out Billy. I don't think Billy.
Season 7 Billy.
Season 7 Billy, yeah, he's
Did we say that? That we're doing the.
sure, whatever. Season 7 Billy versus Season 7 Tam. Cool.
That's what I was going.
Tam is like 20.
What?
He's in
Yeah,
college. He's a normal age in college.
He's
Oh,
for
yeah.
high
multiple
school
years.
at the
No, you're
He's
right.
like 20 something, dude.
You're right.
He's in the prime of his life, physicality wise. Billy Sparks is like 13 and large. I don't know.
I feel like you could just like maybe like tip him over,
Yeah,
and then
Yeah.
bigger they are.
I think if he was able to tip him over, then it would be a done deal.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be able to get back up.
It's Tam. It's gotta be Tam.
Yeah, I'll go with Tam. Dr. John Sturgis versus Veronica.
Oh,
What an odd
what an
matchup.
insane matchup.
I mean, I think Dr. Sturgis just has like no fighting prowess.
We all saw him run.
We all saw him run.
I think the only thing he can competently do physically is bike. And even that,
So from what you're describing to me, he must have like super powered legs, like super strong legs that he can like use to kick people.
yeah,
with.
almost bionically powered legs.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking when you tell me that he rides bikes.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense.
But with Veronica, we have seen her throw a punch at Georgie
Yep.
that knocked him
and,
out.
and,
She's
and
like
that's
from the trailer park,
and that's
right?
Georgie.
She is from the trailer park.
And that's Georgie. Like, Georgie would not be an easy person to knock out. That guy's been in his fair share of fights.
Yeah, I think this is a Veronica sweep.
I think it's not close.
Lastly, George Sr. versus Mr. Lundy.
Okay, it's not season 7 George Sr. Okay.
I'm thinking like
dead.
like 5 episodes.
George
before.
Sr. used to be a biker bad boy. And we've also seen him lay people out. We've
Veronica's
we've seen
stepdad.
him not even close. Like, just fucking go like, oh, what's up? Okay, yeah, cool, and then lay somebody out like
Yeah.
it's nothing.
I don't-
This guy teaches drama
I don't
Yeah.
think there's any debate here.
George Senior got that.
Why is this picture so small?
I don't know.
because he's small but mighty.
Okay, we've gone through one round of these.
Strong. We've gone through a very good round of these, but I don't know, George. I feel like if we keep doing these like same people over and over,
It's gonna get stale.
I feel like who cares,
It's gonna
right?
get boring.
But we need like something to switch it up, like
Maybe some buffs?
yeah, some buffs, maybe some modifiers, some setting changes. Because like, where have they been fighting? What are the specifics of what's going on?
We do not know.
We have no idea. We've been bullshitting this shit.
So we have a wheel of perks
Woo!
that
Wheel
we're
perks.
gonna use to give some of these
Oh my god.
to give some of these characters an upper hand. I'm just gonna go through some of them. Not all of them are gonna get chosen.
Just list off like 5.
Mima's brisket. You get extra strength and health. 2v2. The character fights with their season 1 and season 7 self.
Yep.
Coach George. George coaches the fighter. If George gets it, then we'll spin again.
No, he coaches himself.
No perks. Womp womp. And one more. Debate time. Fight is now just a debate. So for Georgie, we're gonna click the spin.
The thing about Georgie is that if it's like a debate, it's over for him.
But luckily, he has a case of beer.
A case of beer is... The character is now drunk, which means he has drunken strength, but also the clumsiness that comes with it. Luckily, Georgie definitely has done his fair share of underage drinking.
Yes,
So
luckily.
This is a guy who knows how to handle his booze.
Yes, but what about Dale? What perk,
a
or maybe...
a lot of life experience there. I'd like to see something with more dexterity, something that might make him younger, something that might help with that.
Like maybe carrying a baby with him. He has to take care of Cece. If Cece dies, Dale dies too.
See, this is interesting because...
Spelled like that in the real show?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it is
Like
it's CICI for Cece.
Interesting.
It's very interesting here because I know that we're saying these people want to kill, but I don't know if Georgie would have the easiest time killing his own.
Child.
That's why it's so
Although,
interesting.
it is definitely worth noting he's drunk. And as we all know,
Yeah.
in the 90s, you can't blame a man for what he does when he's drunk.
Yeah,
That's well known.
sure.
That's well known.
I'll let you say that. I think the question is, does Georgie have it in him, have enough bloodlust inside of him to see his baby and be like, I have to kill.
Because to be
that thing.
clear, it's no longer killing Dale.
No,
Dale dies, Cece lives, Cece wins, Dale wins by default.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
It's now a game of willpower. And there's nothing that Georgie loves more in this gosh darn world than his own daughter.
Do you think that Georgie might have the mentality of, I'll just make another one? Because this is Georgie. This is a man in the 90s.
He does famously have a lot of wives,
He does.
which means he's definitely down to try things again.
But I think, personally, I don't think Georgie has it in him.
I don't think so.
I think Georgie's drunk and in a berserker's rage, and I don't even know if he knows that that's Cece. Do you think he would ever let Dale hold Cece? Dale, the man who Dale, the man
It's Mima's wife. Cece is named after Constance.
Dale, the man who fired him.
Yeah, and you hired him right back, I'm pretty sure. I don't think this is a Dale win. I think this is a
Georgie loss.
Georgie disqualified. Like he quits. He gets out of it.
I do think he gets himself out, and maybe he takes the baby, he goes home to Mandy, and he creates a new show.
Yeah. Georgie and Mandy, first brawl.
First brawl.
How about that?
Dale reigns victorious in an extreme upset, by the way.
Ooh, Missy Cooper versus Mima.
Now, this is interesting. What are you hoping to see from Missy?
I'm hoping to see some pure rage. I wanted to see her go ham on her Mima. And I'd like to see her team up with one of the Sparks chickens.
This is powerful. This is powerful because, can I be honest with you guys? I'm terrified of a chicken.
Really?
When I see a chicken and it's like coming at me, that scares me. I think a chicken could.
Is the chicken also murderous?
Yes.
Oh, obviously.
And it knows that Missy is a friend.
Missy's an ally, and it
Mima
knows
is a foe.
Mima's obviously a foe. Look at her. She eats chicken.
Yes, but what does Mima get?
I would like to see something with strength. I think that's her biggest.
Well, luckily, she is being coached by George Sr.
I actually think this is a deficit to me.
This is a deficit because they hate each other.
She hates George. So I think this would, really just annoy her.
Yeah, I think the issue with this, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but Mima might turn around and start fighting George too.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, they famously hate each other. I mean, it is all for play and show, and I think if it came down to it,
George would help
we've seen
her.
them work together and we've seen them be okay. But it's not the default.
No. So I think this one is gonna go to Missy.
Yeah.
But what about Veronica? versus
the battle of side characters.
Yeah. Can we talk about where did Veronica go?
Dude,
Like canonically in the
Veronica, I
universe.
wanted her to come back so bad.
I know.
I know
and
she had,
and they brought a
I
lot
know-
of other people back.
I know the actor had to like leave for like another show. And she gets no perks. Really
Okay,
unfortunate.
but Veronica, I will say, I think wins this fight by default
Yes.
with no perks. So depending on what goes on here, things could change. But
Or maybe they're just gonna go to Comic-Con.
if they go to Comic-Con,
What's happening? Do you think Paige is
I
out
think
of her
Paige
element?
is out of her element in Comic-Con.
Where do you think Veronica is more in her element at Comic-Con?
No, I think they're equally lost and befuddled.
Okay, so this is basically just a regular fight. Maybe someone's like throwing like art pieces at the other one, or little collectibles.
They're definitely, like if you could imagine them running through booths and popping in and
jumping on top.
grabbing a Sharpie out of an actor's hand and chucking it at the other's eye, but of course it's gonna miss. And this is the kind of thing that Comic-Con offers. But the biggest thing that Comic-Con offers is cosplayers. And what comes with the cosplay of superheroes and weebish things. Swords.
Yes.
Swords and weapons.
Yeah.
Okay? The real question for me becomes, which one of these people grabs a sword or a weapon or something to fight the other one to victory with first?
I think Paige would have the know-how.
And bear in mind, they get an hour of prep.
Yeah, they do get an
So
hour
maybe
of
they
prep time.
can case the con.
They're scouting for options.
Yeah. They sell real-ass swords in cons.
Elizabeth, I'm gonna let you take the leads on this one.
Honestly, I think Paige would feel like confident, but it wouldn't be like she wouldn't have anything to back it up. I don't think
Okay.
she has actual skills fighting that I feel like Veronica might have. Just from being a little bit older and not like kind of a nerd.
I agree with
know.
that. I mean, I
Yeah.
think that Paige has it's not like it's not 0 to none. Like there's a chance, but it's not high. It's not high, and
No.
I think it's an overwhelming Veronica victory, even though she got no perks,
Yeah.
which is a testament to her strength.
Interesting. Now we got George Sr. versus Tam.
The smallest George you've ever seen versus the largest Tam in the world.
Now,
Largest Tam.
normally this would be a George Sr. sweep, but the perks could come in handy.
Yeah, I mean, Tam could get anything here. Tam could get a 2v2. I mean,
So, Young Sheldon narration, George Sr. must narrate the entire fight while he is doing it. And it's not a voiceover, it is George Sr. in the battle, talking about what he is doing and what he is thinking and what he is going to do
and
next.
we will need Elizabeth to give us a sample of what that would sound like.
Oh my god.
That is the truth. You can think of it while we spin this
Okay,
next
okay,
wheel.
okay.
Don't worry, you have time.
Let's go Tam! Underdog.
Underdog Tam could get anything here, and
Uh-oh.
George doesn't really have a perk. George doesn't have a perk. And now he's dealing with two of them.
Yes.
He's dealing with, let's say that in 1990, Tam would have been a freshman.
Yeah.
Let's say that he's 14, and let's say that now he's 20.
Yeah.
Average looking guy, average strength, fighting capabilities, whatnot. It's very hard to deal with two people. How would George narrate that, Elizabeth? In the style of Jim Parsons.
Put your
please.
improv pants
Jim Parsons or
In the style,
George?
like adult Sheldon narrates it.
Oh god. I mean, I think if it was George Cooper narrating, he would just be like, "God damn it, there's two of them." I don't fucking know.
That's not narration. That's commentary.
What is George?
I don't know.
What is George thinking in this very moment? When he sees
There's two of them.
two
Yeah.
Tams walking
When he sees
up,
two of them, he goes-
I think he's thinking something racist. first
I
off.
and I think that someone has to vocalize it.
Yeah.
I'm
not gonna be me.
vocalizing it. I'm not.
And those
I don't
guys.
care. If you put your fingers on your nose, I'm not
I
saying
think
something racist.
I think you shouldn't be racist on our podcast, but I do think that you should give a narration a shot.
I just
We're not
did. I already did
We're
it.
not moving on until you give it a true, honest shot.
We got all the time in the world to cut.
Is he narrating his own fighting
Yes.
as well as Tam's?
Are you familiar with how narration in the show sounds?
I mean, yeah, but it's not.
It's like that.
He's not. Is he recalling the fight?
It's like that.
He's recalling like what he did in his
narration.
prep time and what he is planning to use against Tam, and he does not realize he is talking out loud.
Yeah.
He doesn't realize.
He's like, luckily I trained for this. I put a lot of effort into studying what Tam might do. I read the comic books he read. You know, that kind of thing.
But I don't think George Cooper would say that.
What do you?
I said that kind of thing. I'm not doing your job for you, that's for sure.
I feel like he wouldn't say that much. I'm sorry, like I don't know what like he would just be like.
He's a man of silence, a few words.
But he has.
I feel like he would just be like, I'm just gonna punch him.
He's like, I'm gonna throw a right hook at Tam, and Tam's like, all right, I'm gonna duck now.
I think what the real narration here would be is something to the effect of George talking about the specific way and speed in which that he knocked Tam out.
You want me to just do it yourself?
Whoa, everyone knows I can do it. Everyone knows George could do it. This is an Elizabeth
This is
episode.
your moment to prove yourself.
Hello, you're on the
I don't-
whiteboard.
why?
You're on the whiteboard.
Prove myself by narrating George. I don't understand.
Put your brain in the mind of... No, put George's brain in your
My
mind.
brain.
Yep. Imagine you're on that chair. Here. Imagine this. Imagine you didn't die of a heart attack. Imagine Cece is 5 years old and you're telling the tale like you are a Vietnam veteran. Okay? Imagine you're saying...
No, he is actually. He was a veteran.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Imagine that you're retelling your war stories. And this particular war happened to be with a child and there were two versions of him and you probably put him down pretty fast. Scene.
Am I supposed to do a voice? I'm sorry.
No, you don't have to do a voice.
Okay.
Me and Forrest are Tam.
Yeah.
Me and Forrest are Tam. What do you think?
You're George.
Just give us one line. One line
I
of...
already gave my best. Like.
One line.
Sometimes your best isn't good enough. Keep going.
You see Tam?
I'm just
You
gonna
see
punch
young
him as
Tam?
hard as I can.
You see young Tam winding up? What is George thinking?
I got a duck. I don't know.
Okay. And what does he do?
Duck.
So he says...
So the
I
narrator
ducked.
would say, and then I ducked.
And scene.
Is this what you wanted?
And then
like,
I
that
ducked.
was nothing.
Luckily, I got right back up and knocked him out in one punch. What a bitch. That's what he would say. Simple, clean,
really could have just done
elegant.
that.
Yeah,
from the
I
beginning.
do think it's a George Senior sweep.
It's obviously a George Senior sweep, and I think we'll stop abusing you now.
Okay.
Ooh, George Senior
Whoa, is this
versus
the
Veronica.
quarterfinals?
This is
semifinals.
This is the semifinals. Only 3 more matches to go.
George Senior versus Veronica.
Against a few titans.
Oh my god. George Senior versus Veronica. Now, this is actually an interesting one because these are both people who we've seen be good at fighting on screen. This is probably the first time this has happened in this tournament. We haven't seen any of these people be in a fight that is completely even yet.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Well, I
right
wouldn't say it's
now,
completely even.
right now, hear me out. I would say that George is in worse shape, but probably has more fighting experience. And Veronica is in pretty good shape and maybe has a little bit less, but can definitely hold her own.
Absolutely.
What kind of power would you like to see coming for George here?
If he could get younger, I don't know if that's an option.
Agility.
There is an option out here for him to get
strength.
younger.
Yeah.
But what about having infinite money? He gets Mima's money stash to use during his prep time.
That's very useful. I mean, an hour, you can buy a lot of things in an hour. And
And he
just buy-
the thing that we're forgetting is that he can drive.
he can drive. A lot of these characters cannot drive. Or we've seen them try their best and it hasn't gone well.
Yeah,
Or they're not old enough.
Yeah.
that's true. But what about Veronica? What is Veronica?
Veronica needs to be stronger.
She
Veronica
does.
needs something that will stand up to the might of George. I
Or
think
maybe-
something like Brisket might
Maybe
be
she
good.
might have some tools at her disposal, like in Dale's
Wow.
store.
So this is actually the fight takes place in Dale's store. This is kind of a mutual benefit
You're right,
situation
you're right.
here. And on top of that, one of these people will be shoplifting, one of them will not be. Because someone has access to infinite money.
Yeah, absolutely. Do
Now-
you think they're buying?
Yeah, wait, does
Yes,
it
because
matter?
otherwise Dale's gonna get after Veronica for shoplifting.
That's-
And whatever random team
Is
works there.
Dale here?
Dale's here, Georgie's here. Hello, it's in the store. And you know what they do to shoplifters in Texas?
What do they do to shoplifters in Texas?
Nothing good.
All right. What do you think, Elizabeth? What do you think George is spending his money at? Where do you think he's going?
What type of like tools?
He has infinite money. Where is he gonna go? Because he doesn't
So
necessarily.
he is actually buying the stuff, but Veronica's not.
I mean, they have an hour of prep time, so he can go anywhere he wants to now. But at the end of the hour, he better be at Dale's store.
Okay.
And he can spend as much money as he wants to. I guess the money lasts throughout the fight. He could start throwing dollar bills at her, but I don't know if that would really help or maybe encourage her.
I mean, I feel like he would just like shoot her or something.
Do you think he would buy a gun?
I think he would.
What kind?
He's handled a gun before. I don't know.
What kind?
What kind? I don't know anything about guns.
Okay, Forrest, what kind?
Wow, do you think I know about guns?
You play a lot of CS:GO.
I played a lot of CS:GO. I think he's definitely going for some kind of assault rifle, something that they give out in the army, maybe like an M4A4 or something like that, which is fully automatic and will definitely pack a punch. But I don't know if George is a man of honor.
Is he?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
George
I'll go with it.
George is a man of honor, and I don't know if I think a man of honor would bring a gun to this fight.
I think if he's bloodlusted and has to win, he would bring a gun. But the thing about Veronica is that she's slippery.
She is.
Look at her. Look at her in this picture.
It's been a while since George has handled a gun. Are we even sure that he'd hit his shot? Are we even sure he was good at it when he was in the army?
I'm sure she's ducking.
Survived. I mean,
He survived, but I mean,
I'm sure she's able to duck around and hide around the store. Dale's
That's true.
sports
There's a lot of
store
obstacles.
is very clustered.
Yeah.
I think Veronica does have the ability to get the jump on George.
so the question is like, is he putting all of his eggs in the gun basket? Or is he smart and spreading his resources? Or is he easily adaptable enough to quickly drop the gun and pick up maybe a baseball bat or something, bludgeoning, so that he can beat her to a pulp?
I don't think George is that adaptable. I think when I think of George, I think he's thinking, I buy gun, I shoot her.
I think you're right.
Veronica
He's quite
takes advantage
simple
of
in the
that.
mind, and I do think Veronica is more clever.
Yeah.
she can outrun a gun. What do you mean?
No, what we mean is that, like, there's a lot of cover in the store.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of places for her to hide. So there's a lot of maybe not quite clear shots that George would have.
It's like in like Alien.
But she has to come out at some point.
Yeah, but she can get the jump on George.
True, but she could also throw things at him. I don't know. They're in a sports store. You get a few baseballs. You peek your head up, quickly go back, throw a baseball at him, throws him off his game. His eyes are closed or something, and then you go up with like.
You go with
a fucking knife? I don't know.
I can see Veronica going up and like choking him with a baseball bat. That's what I think Veronica's
But
game plan
Veronica, they're fighting to the death. The death means a lot here. I mean, it's not like you're not going to be trying your hardest.
Yeah. But I still think she's not that strong. I think if George had a gun, like
I kind of think that George could take the hit as well. I kind of think that George could take a hit from a baseball.
Yeah, I think Veronica would go
A
for
baseball bat. Like, I think he could handle a few of those enough to react.
I
And
think
the pain might even actually get him fired up.
if she goes for like choking him, she would, but I don't think she would do that. I think
wouldn't
she'd
do
try
that.
to bludgeon the forehead.
Yeah, which is not the move there.
Yeah. So I think this is a George Senior win.
Close though, in many ways.
Missy, I forgot Missy was in here.
Missy versus Dale. This is two, frankly, shocking people to make it in.
I'm surprised Missy has gone this far, but she is a fighter.
Yeah.
But what perk is she gonna have?
I don't know. There's a lot of things that could definitely benefit her here.
So the fight.
And
this is what I'm.
I was really hoping that we'd
Forrest,
get this
Forrest,
one.
you go ahead and take this one.
So I'm sure that everybody's familiar with what WWE is. This modifier here means that they both get to fight in a WWE ring, which includes all the stunt shit that they do. So we're talking tables breaking, we're talking chairs over the back, we are talking Undertaker-style takedowns.
Yes. And that affects both players.
This is an environmental thing. So this could be good for both people, or maybe Dale is frail and old, and maybe he can't do the stunts.
Okay, so this can't take place at both Dale's store and
but WWE. It's happening.
We'll spin
again.
We'll spin again.
But yeah, like maybe Dale is too old to really last in a ring.
Dale gets no perk. So this is just like
No
an
perks.
entirely
So this is a
environmental thing.
WWE fight. We're talking Missy versus Dale. Crowd is roaring. All right, they're both feeding off the energy. They're doing shit they didn't know they could do. Who's gonna win though?
I think what I'm thinking of this, I think it's possible for Misty to take multiple hits from like, you know, chairs and falling on tables. I think Dale is a one and doneer when it comes to like something like that.
I don't think that Missy could take multiple hits from chairs being slammed on her head. She's like
I think that her
13-year-old
bones could stand up to it better than Dale's bones could. Is that crazy?
I think she's quicker. She'd be able to evade more
She's
easily.
just smaller though.
I also think that when you're in a fight like this, in a WWE fight, a lot of your energy is from the crowd.
Mm.
Nothing the crowd loves more than an underdog and a cute face, all right?
Mm.
She's a little girl, and I think that makes her a crowd favorite. She also has the capability to get up on the ropes and do some of those more fancy moves that Dale might not be limber enough to do.
Absolutely.
All right, she could jump off, and she can take her down with. She can take him down with the elbow and really exercise a lot.
Suplex.
Yeah, and exercise a lot of acrobatic skills that Dale can't do, and the crowd would cheer.
Yeah.
And when the crowd cheers, nothing gets your bloodlust going like that.
Forrest, you convinced me. I think I'm gonna go with Missy on this one.
I think she could just hit him in the knees and
Also that. Also he's frail.
yeah.
Last but not least, it's between George Sr. and Missy Cooper.
What I'm really hoping for here is not most recent versus first appearance, because that wouldn't be good for George.
We've already got a case of beer. Do you mind if I?
We could spin it again.
Okay. I want something entirely.
What are you,
unique.
Elizabeth? What are you looking for both of these fighters? What's your bias? Who's your money on? Let's talk about it.
I think Missy needs a lot to win this, maybe.
I mean, I absolutely agree.
Just because of the size difference, and I don't think that she's that strong.
Yeah, but again, there's this emotional
because she's a
aspect of
girl.
fighting your own child, which is something that like we used as an explanation before that could still hold up. Although I will say, like, she's not quite the young Cece with the infant face that George is, and George might have a certain amount of rage. Dude, how long can I stall for?
Okay, so we're settling on Coach George.
George
George
coaches George. There's a second version of George. He's coaching George. Next.
For Missy.
This is like the fifth spin.
Yeah. And we got Mima's money stash yet again.
Missy's slippery with the money, although I don't know if it would do too much for her going to a store like that.
No, especially if
Missy going to a store, she gets distracted.
especially if George Sr. is being
I
coached
don't
by.
think she would know what to do with it, honestly.
No.
Do you think,
Because she also can't legally buy a gun.
do you think that Coach George Sr. would tell himself to kill his daughter?
That's really the question that should be asked.
Or do you, but also, on the flip side of that, do you think Coach George Sr. would let himself lose?
I think George Sr. loves his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I think George Sr. loves his daughter. And truthfully, I can't imagine a world where George Sr. would either let himself beat Missy Cooper to death or tell himself, like, you have to do this.
We've already seen, in the tornado episode, we've seen him put himself at risk of death to protect her. And even when they were at their
Great episode, by the way.
biggest fight, they were both not getting along, and out of nowhere, family happens.
Yeah.
Right? I think something similar might happen here, but
You know what I see happening, Forrest? I think original, like, George Sr. in this battle would be bloodlusted enough to fight Missy Cooper.
Okay.
But I think Coach George.
with the quote, with the
I
coach.
think Coach George would see it
That
happening.
guy's got his head about him.
Because he's not bloodlusted.
No. He
has
That's
a
just George
conscience,
Sr.
yeah.
So now this is a battle between George Sr., the fighter,
And his morality.
and George Sr., the fucking coach. Who
Holy
do you think
shit.
is winning that battle?
It's the coach, dude. Are you kidding me?
Abso-freaking-lutely.
He's fighting for his daughter, dude. It's over.
Absolutely. What a crazy turn of events. And I think, Coach George switches sides, helps Missy Cooper out.
Yeah.
It's a 2-on-1
2v1.
against...
She has a goddamn baseball bat and a helmet,
Yeah.
and it's over.
It would be sad, but
It'd be hard. It'd be hard to see, but Coach George would kill himself to save his daughter.
Absolutely. And
I
after,
don't know if Missy would have killed George, but Coach George would kill himself.
Mm-hmm. And then after he does that, he fades out of existence, and he's like, "Goodbye, my sweet, beautiful child."
Yeah.
And he turns into dust off to the sunset.
It's emotional and beautiful.
But
too.
ultimately, at the very end of this tournament,
She comes to her senses and is like, oh my god, I just come.
That would be
back.
honestly, I could see that scene for Young Sheldon. They would write it and it would make me cry.
but Missy Cooper is
that
the
our
one,
champion?
Is the champion in the Young Sheldon Showdown.
Wow. I mean, that is an underdog right there.
Yes.
Missy's someone who's resourceful, smart, clever, definitely has everything it takes to win a fight, except that she's pretty small.
Yeah.
Not much muscle, not much experience. You know?
Absolutely.
We've
And
seen her
she's a
fight.
girl also.
Yeah. And that's
Seen her
honestly
fight
why she's
before.
my favorite character. And I think that might be echoed.
Missy's been a long-time favorite of mine, and I don't think that's ever going to change.
Yeah, and I think with that absolute climactic victory at the very end, I think we gotta wrap up the pod episode.
I think so too, George. Here's the deal, though. We ask every single one of our guests this, and we'd be remiss if we didn't ask you.
Mm-hmm.
So one last thing before we go. What's the difference between me and George? Because a lot of people are saying that we're the same. A lot of people are saying that we're wearing the same shirt. You know, like,
just inverted.
Just inverted. A lot of people are saying these things.
It's absolutely not true, though.
And it's definitely not true, but it makes us wonder, because sometimes even we have a hard time, like, really getting down to the bottom of, like, what is the difference between us.
Mm-hmm.
So we would really like some help.
No, you can't say one of us is black.
You can't say
or
one. You
anything
can't.
physical.
Nothing
like
lame like
Okay,
that
okay,
shit.
okay.
Obviously, one of us is black.
Yeah, but we're not telling who.
Obviously, you also know George a lot better than you know
Yeah.
me. But I just talked a lot for an hour. Surely you could get something out of that. And you can't say that I'm cerebral. We already know that.
I can't say that.
No, you can't say he's passionate either. We already know that.
That he's what?
Passionate, and I'm
Passionate?
cerebral. Many people are saying that.
Many people are saying that. Okay.
Yeah, many
I don't know if I heard
people
that,
are
but,
saying that he's passionate and I'm cerebral.
I would say George is more. I feel like you guys are like similar people, but like in different fonts. Like George is more like.
You can say.
Like I don't
you can
even
say
know.
It's okay.
Say what?
Whatever
I
you're
don't
not,
know.
whatever
I
you're
don't
making
even
yourself
know what
not
I'm
say,
onto.
you can say it.
I'm not holding back. It's like I kind of don't even know what I'm saying.
We have already been
Like,
told
George
that
is-
I'm in person funny and he's online funny.
I don't think George is that online funny, if I'm being honest. I think if I just knew you online, like I would be like, I think you tried to be funny more online. Like you're more of like a showman, I think.
Okay.
I guess I would say that's what sets you guys apart.
And Forrest is more what?
What?
As opposed to being a showman?
More like low key. I don't know what like.
Interesting.
Okay. So I'm more of a showboater.
And I'm more low key, like reserved.
I guess
You're locking that in.
You're locking that in.
That's good to know. I know that's really good research.
It gives me a lot of
That's
things
a lot
to think
about when I go to sleep at night.
Yeah.
Um,
Elizabeth, tell the audience where they can find you.
if you want them to.
Okay. My Instagram username is Elizabeth M Joyce 13.
It'll be on screen.
On screen
Give
right
me
here.
some likes. Give me some follows.
Yeah, and also leave her some comments.
Comment on her
Yeah,
oldest
comment on
post.
my-
Say happy birthday.
Comment on her oldest post. Which one of us was funnier this episode?
Ooh, that's a great thing to comment because, look, some people are saying it's Radical Rick.
Yeah.
Some people are saying it's Rambunctious Randy,
Who is Forrest, by the way?
who's me. And some people are saying that it's Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Who knows?
So please leave a comment
She's
on
so funny.
Elizabeth's oldest post.
Elizabeth's oldest post
which one
and
of
let
us
us
was
know
funniest.
who's funnier.
Yeah. And hey, check out Young Sheldon.
Check out Young Sheldon, please. It's genuinely a masterclass
spoiled
in
all
writing
of it,
comedy and emotion, like and mixing in emotions.
One of the
and
most mature and intellectual family sitcoms of all time.
yeah, I think it's going to be studied. With that being said, drop a like, hit the comment, and also subscribe.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye. Say goodbye, Elizabeth.
Say bye. Wave at them. Hello.
You have to say goodbye.
You have
They
to
can't
say
see you.
goodbye.
I'm saying goodbye.
Well, no, you have to say
Goodbye.
good. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Jesus Christ.